Hey, what's up guys? It's T-Bone here. Welcome to another live stream here. And today what we're going to do is a live deck building exercise. And so before the stream started, I actually asked a question, and that is, if you need some help, let's go ahead and give me your in-game name, and I'll take a look and maybe also have the audience be involved in giving some tips. Now, I do want to say before we begin that I'm only going to be able to do this for 30 minutes. My 3-year-old has a flu, and I do need to go back and make sure I check up on her. So what I'm going to do is for the next half an hour, we're going to have a little stream. We're going to take a look at your cards, and thanks to everybody who have already joined and given me their in-game names. I've taken down some notes. I've sort of taken a look beforehand, and so far I've got Baby Lina, O Sleeps, Master Silverhand, and Vicar Aymar Sr. And so let's take a look at the first 4 listed here, and we can also show some of my cards. I have a couple ideas for how you might be able to deal with the Ultra Kill Boss, and so we can go from there. So now the thing that I do want to say is that I don't currently have a great deck for taking down even just the solo legends. Right now I don't have very good luck with my runes so far, so you can take a look at where we are. I've got 3 out of the 6 runes, and most of them are duplicates. So you can see here I got 3, 2, and then finally a single one here. I could craft 2, and so if I can get 1 more out of the collection that isn't a duplicate, then I'll be able to craft a Master Collection card, but that's probably not going to be until later in the event. And I'm not entirely sure if it'll be possible for me to get my ultra rare, since I do have duplicates here as well. So we'll see how it goes, but right now I'm running with, just kind of bare minimum decks here. So kind of take a look at the people here. So hi everybody, I'm just going to list out the people here. So Teresa, O Sleepless, The Pondering Pigeon, Be Like Billy, thanks for joining. And Joe Want to Know, Mr. Hawklands, and Toxic Blitz, Kevin Jackson, Gary Castle, and Kevin Jackson, Shismar Jackson, and Goku Ultra Instincts. Thanks for joining the stream here. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to take a quick look at your cards, and I'm going to show the deck I'm thinking about for Ultra Rare, for the Ultra Kill. So first, let's take a look at Baby Lina. So she was the first one that messaged. So I did take a look at the cards already, and so what I'm going to do is just kind of show you the deck here, and then I'm going to talk about my recommendations and the reasons why. And so let's see. So it's a couple of things I've taken a look at is, I'm trying to see what of the commander cards you have, you from the event you've gotten, and what I see here are mostly support cards from the command event. But I do see a copy of Haldor. So Haldor is going to be a very useful card in your situation. So what I've taken down here as a note is I think you should actually run with 1 copy of the Haldor, and then you can also go with 1 Malakaska. Even though it's a 5-star, so I highly recommend, if you can, get it to 6 stars, but it doesn't actually impact a whole lot because you still get the same number of power gems. So I think the only thing is the cooldown. I'm not sure if it's a cooldown, but right now it creates 4 water power gems, and it will double if you have the overflow buff. And so what you do need to make sure you do then is to pair that up with your Campos. And then you have what's left is, so you've got 8 power gems from Malakostka, and then you'll have 4 Power Gem 4s from Haldor. Now what's missing is gem creation, and I would recommend going with Melio because you get 6 water gems each. So I would go with 2 of those, and you get a little bit of heal. And so the way to play this deck would be to make sure that you activate your Campos first, and then 4 turns later you're going to have the overflow buff. Then you go ahead and activate Malakostra and then Haldor, followed by Melio. So that's going to give you the most number of gems, including the power gems as well. So give that a try. It's going to be a 3-key. Hit deck. I'm not sure you can get very far with 1 key here, but it should give you hopefully enough of damage to try and at least get some overkill against solo legends. So just kind of basing on the cards there. So that's what I would recommend. So give it a try and let me know. And I can also play test it against a guild boss, just so we can see how that deck performs. And let's see. So the next one is O Sleeps. So let's go ahead and take a look here. So OS and LE and 3 Z's. And so, one of the goals for me also doing the stream again, so anybody who's just joining me here, one of the goals for this stream and trying something a little different is to have a little bit more of a live interaction. And anybody who has any ideas, any suggestions, recommendations, feel free to put in your, just put in the chat as well, and also just provide some comments. I think I would love for this to be a interactive session where, we can all learn a little bit from each other. And so hopefully what I can do is also kind of give you a sense of what goes on in my head when I'm thinking about deck building here. And just drinking a cup of water here. And also just see what other things that we could try that, you may not have tried before. So let's take a look there. And so again, I've also taken a look at the deck here, and what I'm seeing here is it's a little bit interesting because it's a little different in that there is no Haldor. That's one of the first cards I look for. It's a really good card. But in this case, what I've recommended is actually go with 1 copy of Procambrius. So Procambrius creates power gems. So it will actually create 4 power gems, and what it's most beneficial for is the fact that it places the constricted, I think it's called constricted, the constricted buff. And so what that does is if you can basically do it twice. So remember how this card works is when you activate it once, there's a 3-turn cooldown, and then you can activate it again as long as you get 6 gems matched. So I would highly recommend going for 2 of these first before you decide to activate everything. And then in this case, what I'll do is 1 copy of Campus, and then Precambrius, and then also 1 copy of Campos. You have 2 Malacostra. So I would obviously go with that. That will give you, if you activate it afterwards, then you could get the double boost. And then you can do 8 plus 8, that's 16 power gems plus another 4 for Procambrius, and then all your then the last one that's remaining, I would say maybe go with Melios to just kind of round it out with your water gems. And so again, it's always look for the maximum number of power gems if you can. And in this case, you don't have a lot of power gem 4 spawners. You have mostly power gem 1 spawner, so then increasing the number would be useful. And the other thing is also taking a look at your relics here. So if we go back to your profile here, the other thing to look at is also just your gear. So if we take a look at the water commander, so you've got 3. Obviously these will be the 3 that you want to use. And let's see, do you have a dragon? Let's see. So some of the things that you could think about. So let's see if you have any dragon. So you don't have any dragon relics. Then let's see, you don't have any water relics either. So then I would go with, I think demigods. So you don't have demigods. So then I would go with, in this case, go with the 3 water commander, and then probably then go ahead and use any sabers or anything else that you might be able to add. So that'll be what I recommend as well. And so, remember that there is also a, in the shop today, you can also purchase the previous events relics. So just keep in mind, pay attention to which one you actually want. I actually didn't pay attention and I almost purchased this one. So just keep in mind, there are 2 relic packs today. And so make sure you get the one that you actually need. So the next one that is on my list here was Master Silverhand. So let's take a look. And what we're going to do is after I take a look at Master Silverhand's cards, we're going to go back and take a look at what I have. And I'm going to also maybe do a play test or something. So Master Silverhand, I need to finish typing that up. So let's take a look at the cards here. So what I see is you have Dynamite Dougal, which is really good. I actually am using him in some of my decks as well. And so what I'm seeing here, you got, you got Haldor, Emilio, Helga. And am I doing, okay, so I'm base but power. And let's see, so you got 2 copies of Campos, you do have Dynamite Dougal, and you have 2 copies of Iron Spy and Night Horse. So I'm running a very similar team with that setup, and what I have as sort of the leader there though was actually the Master Collection card from the previous Water Commander event that gives me Power Gen 4s, and so I did have a little benefit there. But in this case, let's just take a look to see what team you're running with and see if there's anything that I need to change. Because one of the things I also think is good to just kind of take a look and see what you are already running with, so we don't need to change a whole lot. And also just a quick note, it is going to, I believe the starter pack this week is going to be the one with the special cards. I forget the name. The names escapes me, but basically the team with the volleying one. So you're going to get I believe the Surf Goddess, and that could be a card that would be a really good gem destroyer that also spawns power gems, and then you can use Summertime Aphrodite to get some power gems there as well. So that would be the starter pack. I don't have the gems for it, so I'm not going to go after that. But if you're looking for something, that could be an option as well. And so just looking here, I see that you're using the Ethereal Drake and you're also using the Volcanic Quadrille, which is great. This is actually a really interesting setup that I've also been trying out for the Ultra Kill. So this is actually pretty good. I'm assuming this is probably going to be something that would be useful as well for the bigger bosses. But I would say, this is going to be a 3-key attack, obviously, because you are using Ethereal Drake here. And with this particular setup, so I think if you got Cerulean, so that's another good idea, because that's another one I was going to try out as well. Cerulean will upgrade power gems, I think any random 5 power gems, but that's depending on Ancient Intensity. So right now, I think what you've got here is without any Ancient Relics, you've got 3 Ancient Relics. So you got 3 Ancient Relics here, so then you can go up to 9, I think. Maximum of 9. Right. And so per 50. So yeah, so I guess that if that's the case here, then you will actually be able to do pretty good damage as well. And you're using Campos there. So I don't think I could really, I don't know if I can necessarily improve any more on that, except you might want to consider increasing your human intensity. Do you have more human relics? Let's take a look. So having just the 1 relic there is actually, so you got 3 human relics here, 2 of them at 6 stars. I would actually suggest you try out and see if using 2 human relics instead of 3 ancient relics would be okay, because you're using 3 ancient relics, so you're only powering up Cerulean. You're not powering up any of the other cards, and with this setup using the Water Human deck, you're actually going to get more damage out of your human cards, a lot more than you would expect. And so having 2 human relics here will at least help you get the intensity you need to sort of bump up the total amount of boost. And so give that a try. See if that works out a little bit better. Now so the thing is, you're going to have to decide whether you sacrifice this relic here or 1 or 2 of your ancients. So I would say give it a try and see how it goes. If you're going to be using this for a 3-key attack anyway, you might see increased attack damage in that situation. So that's what I would recommend. Now, so let's take a look here. A couple of things I wanted to do. The first one is I think I wanted to do a play test here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and build out a team right now that I talked about. So let's go ahead and do this. So I'm going to go ahead and use the cards that I talked about for baby Lina. And I think what I said was 1 Malacostra and 2 Melios. I don't know if I have 2 Melios, so I'll have to do something I'll just use this for now just to kind of simulate it. And then 1 Campos and then 1 Haldor. So let's go ahead and try this out, and we will also put in the relics that's needed for it. So in terms of relics, then what I'm going to do is I will put in, I don't remember exactly what relics you have, but this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use everything I have at my disposal. And I will also do a single Earth Water Slayer one. You know what? I might actually just go for both, so that way I can get the maximum number of Power Gem 3s. And so with this particular setup, I'm actually just going to go ahead and attack a Guild Boss, and let's see how well this does. So I'm going to sort of show you how this deck would work, so that we can give this a try. And I'm going to do this relatively quickly. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do the full deck here, but so keep in mind you have to make sure that you activate your Campos first, and then wait for the overflow buff to be in effect. And so what you can do here, first thing is I'm actually going to make sure that I do a couple attacks first, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that I also have 100 intensity and 100 skill points. So I think I'm going to be able to get that. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this now. And let's see. So I'm going to do one attack here. So you can see the counter going down. So when it gets to 1, that means the very next turn is when overflow buff is going to be active. And so let's go ahead and... Oh man, this lag is pretty terrible. All right, so now that we've got the sufficient Water Commander skill point, so now in the next turn, you'll see after this one, so what you're going to see is you should see the overflow buff appear. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go and activate Malacostra. So you can see I have the power gems created here, and then use Haldor to create 4 more. Then use Milio, and you'll have 2 copies of it. So now this is what it's probably going to look like. And now let's take a look and see how much damage you'll be able to deal with this particular setup. You probably have, I probably have better relics here. So that's 30 billion with that particular setup in this case. And I'm going to quit out there. So, I mean, it's probably not as strong as you would like, but I think given the cards there, this is not too bad. And you can play around a little bit and give that a shot. And let's see. So we got 845. I'm going to take a stop here right now and take a look at the comments here. Sorry, I've been talking a lot and I'm not paying attention to the comments here. So let's see. Yeah, there's quite a bit here. Yes. So Kevin, thanks a lot. I mean, it's kind of interesting. A lot of people with, coming down with a cold right now and flu and whatnot. So I just took her to the doctor's today, and she said that it's most likely influenza. So I'm just keeping an eye as well. So for anybody just joining the stream right now, I'm going to try and keep this short. I'm going to try to end it right at 9 p.m. My time, just so that I can go and take care of the little one. All right. And yeah, so also there are, I see people also giving names here. I'm going to do one quick fight on the Ultra Kill, and I'm going to go back and take a look at your decks. I just want to make sure that if I missed you, though, just, let's use my channel as well. I think there's a lot of people I see that have been giving really good advice in my channel. So let's use that as well if I don't get to you today. And let's see. So yeah, oh, Sleepless, runes are running horrible. Yeah, it's just, I'm hoping the others get better luck than I do. I've been running pretty bad luck recently, but I'm just kind of going along with it. I'm just hoping that I can keep in my league. That's pretty much it. So Joel wants to know, could you add any other relics that could help your team? So I think in general, the kind of relics that you want to add are either going to be the ones that are fully Water Commander relics, or in this case, if you have dragon ones or any water specific relic, those are all sort of the relics that you want to use. Best is look for a relic that will boost most of your team members based on the card type. So that's what I would recommend. And go for the ones that give attack rather than health. You don't really need any health, or for this particular team, you also don't need recovery boosts. And so, yeah, again, so just more people here just saying hi, John Wilson and Jay Concede. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to everybody here, unfortunately. And so, again, apologies. Take a look at T-Bone LGOH chat. Join that, and you can ask your questions there. There are a lot of people who can also help out, so let's take advantage of that. Sal, you have a second copy of Iron Knight Horror. Should you awaken it? I would keep both copies. So my thing is, you should never take a card that can create lots of power gems and use that to awaken each other. Instead, I would wait until you get the Water Wisp and then use that to awaken. So any power gem spawners, don't use that to sacrifice for another awakening. I think you're not gaining the benefit. More power gems is going to give you more power output. All right, and so, okay, so let's go back and take a look at what we can do with the Ultra Kill. So I don't have my second copy of the support card, and so this is really just a test here. And given the bad lag, this is probably going to be a little bit of a longish fight, so I apologize for that. But basically, this is my setup right now. I'm running with a couple of dragon cards. So what I'm using is Volcanic Quill Drag to actually boost up the damage of my dragon cards, and I am using a single Bashma, which is my main power gen spawner. So let's go ahead and give this a try, and let's see how it goes. It is going to be interesting because I can see that there's some lag here. Maybe if I let it cool down a little bit, I think it might be overheating. That might be the issue here. All right, so let's take a look. And so This is also going to be a very interesting fight here because there's a couple of things that you're going to have to deal with. The first one is you have to make sure that you connect all the fire gems, and remember that the way that this card, Volcanic Quilldrak, works, his battle skill will only work if you have 8 or more fire power gems on the board. And so before anything, you have to make sure that you activate Quilldrak's power battle skill before anything else. And also, you want to make sure that if you can, as much as possible, also want to time the battle skill of your Malakostra so that you can create 8 power gems instead of 4, just so that you can increase the powers. And also I've got right now I'm running, oh my goodness, I'm not paying attention. I'm also using just 2 dragon relics and 2 fable relics. And so you can see my fable intensity and my dragon intensity going up. My goal here is I would like to be able to get it to 300, but it's not going to happen given sort of like the speed at which I'm playing right now. So, if you kind of think about it, right now, what I'm doing is I'm just sort of taking my time. I'm biding my time right now. It's at 100, and I have to, keep all of these things in mind. So really, I have to also keep count of when Quilldrak actually does his passive. And so what I need to do is I need to count the passive here, and then when I know there's gonna basically 2 turns after Quilldrak, so this is 1 now, and so I'm gonna do is I think after this turn, so yeah, I have 8 seconds. I'm actually going to take some time with this. I'm not going to use this just yet. I need to make sure that I have as high of a battle as high as I can intensity wise. And so I think after this, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So this is a single turn here. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Campos now. I think this will the last 4 turns. I think if I remember this correctly. And yes, I also need to make sure that I don't die. So I think now I'm just going to wait for Quilldrak to... Yeah, so I mistimed it. So now I'm going to basically wait for Quilldrak's ability to come out. Then I'm going to activate that. And then I'm going to go ahead and activate all of my cards here and see how this is going to go. Yeah, see, like, I only have 190 intensity there, but... So you can see that I've got, about 200 billion with that particular shot because of the dragon damage there. And I know I could do better, especially if I get my second support card. I could deal a lot more damage there. And I obviously mistimed everything, so I didn't get the full board. The key here is you want to play fast. You need to really play fast so that you can get the intensity needed. I was at 190, and that was not nearly enough. You need close to 300 intensity if you want it to be able to deal sufficient damage there for the ultra kill. So that was, all right. Hopefully that was useful for anybody who has a similar sort of setup there. And we're going to go back and take a look at cards again. So the next person that was actually on the list was Vikar Saimar. Let me just make sure. Amar Senior. So let's take a look at the cards here. And Sal, thanks a lot. I hope so too. It's never fun, having a sick little one. All right, let's see. So what we got. Another option too. I know that if anybody who has a ultimate form from the last Water Slayer event, either the cards with the water elves in this case, or with for the very very first Water Slayer event since 3.0 came out, because of the because of the killer skills, it actually does pretty good damage too. And the ultimate form from this particular event, it has the same chaotic killer, so it can deal a lot of damage there against the bosses. So that's another option. So let's take a look here. So okay, so I think so I see some pretty good options. So one option is, I'm not sure if you've already tried it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look at what you've got. So let's see what you're running with right now. And so you are using a very similar deck that I mentioned to Baby Lina. So that's one there. Another option that I would recommend that you're checking out is if you're using Raito, you should actually put in the Golden Trickster. I thought I saw one, didn't I? So let's go and Vikar Imar Senior. let's take a look here. I thought I saw it, so let's take a look at the water commander. Yeah, so you have a golden trickster. So if you're going to use Krobe Raidu, you have to also include golden trickster. Otherwise, you're really losing out on your power gem spawning abilities. Because keep in mind, this guy will actually generate power gem 2s across the celebration tile, and so you're going to get a lot more power gems there than any of the other cards that you can really use here. So one of the things I would say is try with Krobe Raidu, Golden Trickster. Then I would say one copy of Procambrius. You don't have any of the other current events deck here. So I would actually see how this works. Try it with 2 copies of Meliel, Procambrius, Krobe Raidu, and then Golden Trickster, just to see if that will give you increased damage overall. Let's give that a try and see how that goes. All right, 5 minutes remaining here, and I just want to make sure I don't miss anyone. So let's take a look here. I think I have time for another one. So let's do Hawkland. This was the other person also that was earlier. Again, I apologize for anybody who's just joining me now. I apologize. I don't have a lot of time this time around. But again, please feel free to come join the channel. Ask your questions. Again, like I said, there's a lot of really great people. I'm really appreciative of all the people that have been helping out and making that channel just really great and a really good source of information for others, even when I'm not available and I'm not around. So I would say give it a try if I can't help you today. And also, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if this has been useful and, whether it works or not. Comment down below. If you can also just, add it to the comments and let me know your experience afterwards. Did it do better? Did it do worse? Did you come up with a better team than what I had recommended? The idea is to share this so that other people can see as well. And so what I see here is you're using Procambrius, Meliel, Campos, and then you have Karasu and Krobe Raidu. And so let's take a look. Let's take a look at your water commander cards. Okay, and so one of the things that I actually also wanted to bring up is if you have a deck that can generate a pretty good amount of power gems and you have Maelstrom, this card may not be a bad idea to give a try. So I'll show you what I mean by this. So this card, what it does is, first of all, it's dragon, so you can use dragon intensity to help out here. But what it'll do is it will increase the water affinity's bonus to fire by up to 50%. And if you think about it, it will increase the water affinity bonus. This card came out when all of the water cards affinity or your affinity bonus was only 2. Since Empowerment came out, the affinity bonus is now 10. So if you can get us up to 50% of that, that means you're getting 5 times more damage for all of your Generation 3 cards. And so this actually is a really significant increase in your damage, and the only thing is it requires dragon intensity to really go up. Like, it doesn't tell you the exact amount, meaning like, if you don't what amount does it go up to 50%? I don't know, but I have noticed a marked increase in damage when I do that. So that's something to consider. And also, if you are able to wait, like I said, the starter deck this week should be the beach party event, so you might be able to get some good cards there as well. So in this particular case, I think what you've got is not bad already. So this deck right here, you're using 1 copy of Karasu and 1 copy of Crowblade, which, to be honest, I think what you're gaining there is you're gaining the passive gem creation, but you might actually be better off if you used actually, you have... No, I wouldn't go with Dr. Nuna because it takes too long for you to get power gems, because it creates 2 and then you need 75 water slate skill point to go up. I would go with Haldor. Haldor gives you 4 immediately. And keep in mind, 1 power gem 4 is equal to 4 power gem 1s. And so you're going to get better damage this way by replacing, I would say, Krobe Raidu with Haldor. Give that a try and see how it goes. And also, gen spawners is going to be greater than a single power gem here if you can, fill the board a little bit more. So that's what I would go with. So let's see here. I'll show you what I mean by this too. So I actually have a deck that I built. So this is the deck that I have here. So I'm using, one copy of Biolume and one Procambrius. And then what I've noticed here is when I activate everything, if I use a Maelstrom, I actually have two dragon relics here as well. If I use Maelstrom, my damage overall actually does increase by almost double. And so it actually makes a big difference there. I tried it out against a guild boss, and that was a pretty surprising result. So let's see here. I'm just gonna take a look again. I'm missing out on the comments here. So it is 9 p.m. I'm just gonna take a couple minutes just to answer any last questions, and then we're gonna call it a day here. Nixie Pixie, so looking for some ideas. And another thing I could do is just message me, and when I get a chance, I'll get back to you as well. I would love to be able to help everybody out. And so, before the next Thursday event, just kind of let me know if you need help, and I'll try and have a running list so I make sure that I get to everybody and I don't end up helping the same person over and over even after event. So let's see, Chris fan. So thanks a lot. That's sort of the goal. I do hope that what I'm doing here is helpful for everybody. And I'm missing a lot of people, so I'm gonna go down the list again. So thanks for joining us, Miren, Adrian, Emily, and also SH, Joshua Davis. These just thank you so much for all of your support and joining me here. Jonathan Streets and Eagle Wing. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to help out right now in this event, but my hope is by going through this live, and you can sort of see the cards that other people have and what I am doing to recommend to them. If you have something similar, like a similar setup, that's what I would recommend you trying out as well, and let me know how it works. And so, yep. Jill, want to let me know, give it a try, and let me know. So W Conqueror, hello. And let's see, anything else? Been playing for 3 months. So Doug Vader, been playing for 3 months. Love the game. Just look across my channel and subscribe and hit the bell. Thank you very much. Yeah, and let's see. So if there's other ideas that you've sort of explored and I haven't talked about it, another great thing to do is to just put it in a comment below, let other people try, and see what comes of it. So Paxton, you want a deck building challenge? Check out my deck. It barely does any damage at all. What I will do is I'm going to take a look at your cards afterwards, and then I will see if that really is the case. I mean, I believe you, right? And it really definitely depends on the cards. I don't have the Master Collection cards this time, and it really, really is hard. Like I can't even solo my legend. You can see where my legend's at right now. But somehow I'm still holding okay in my league. So I guess not a lot of people are playing really hard right now. I don't know, but I think I'm focused on my overkill and ultra kill, so that's probably why it's helping. And so let's see here. And okay, so I'm reaching the end of the comments here. Dak DD, do I really need a support card if I'm using all ultras? Then I would say no. So the support card is a weaker version of the ultra card. So yeah, you definitely should go with the ultra rare. You don't really need to use support cards. So if you have the ultra rare card, that's going to create 3 power gem 2s every time. So you're going to get a lot more benefits there. And I'm really hoping that you get a Master Collection card as well, so that you can get the ultimate form and your Master Collection card and the ultra rare. So you're going to really do well in the event. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you for your Master Collection card. And Mr. Hawklands, thanks a lot. Making sure that we are monitoring, and also giving lots and lots of fluids as well. So that's all for this stream, everybody. So thank you very much for joining me and for all of your support, feedback. And let me know if this is something you'd like to continue to see, and also what additional content you'll like. So I'm doing 2 streams a week right now. If there is anything about anything that you think I should do video-wise, sort of edited version, I could talk about it. KC Freeman, no, I did not speak about the boycott. This particular stream is focused on the deck building, and there are if you search for it, it is, I think people have mentioned in the forum, and it's also in the channel. Like, I'm on it and I'm sort of paying attention to what's going on. But basically, there's a group of people that are trying to get their voices heard, and I know that they are, working on hopefully a resolution. I'm hoping for a peaceful resolution, and so that's the extent that I'll say in this particular stream. And so that's it for today. Thanks very much, everybody. And if there's anything else you wanted to talk to me about, reach out to me on the app, or join my channel and talk to other like-minded people who are interested in helping each other out with the deck building, and hopefully that'll be helpful. So again, thanks a lot. Have a good night, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.